Welcome, dear viewers. How are you all? Today we have brought for you the story of Squid Game Season 2. Well, even if you haven't seen Season 1, it doesn't matter, because I am here to explain it to you, friends. In Season 1, we saw that 456 needy people were lured by the Squid Game organizers to participate in the game with the promise of 45.6 billion won as prize money. However, this game was quite dangerous. Friends, there are losers at every level of the game. Not only were people losing the game, but they were also risking their lives. Without hesitation, the pink guards killed the losers, and some even died during the games themselves. The one who won this dangerous game was Seong Gi-hun, but even after winning, he did not use the money. He was deeply regretful that so many people had died because of this game. The one running the game was none other than player 001, a very old man. Before he died, he called Seong to him and revealed the truth. I am not a player. I am the creator of the game. I had so much money that I experienced everything the world had to offer, and life became boring. So I created this game. After this, friends, Seong gave a bag of money to his friend Sang-woo's mom. Sang-woo, after coming to the final game, sacrificed himself to let Seong win. Seong also had a friend, Sae-byok, whose death occurred right before his eyes. She had an orphaned brother, and Seong left him with Sang-woo's mother so they could become each other's family. One day, Seong saw the same salesman who had asked him to participate in the game. This time, the salesman was giving the card to another man. Seong, knowing very well what was about to happen, snatched the card from the man. When Seong tried to stop the game, the front man called him and threatened, "You're going to see your daughter. It's better if you go there. Don't interfere in our work." Well, friends, after 3 years of the front man's threat, Squid Game Season 2 begins. Seong was not afraid of the front man's threats, but he was busy locating their base. Seong didn't want more people to participate in this dangerous, inhumane game and lose their lives. Meanwhile, Junho, the detective from Season 1 who was thought to have died, survived and recovered in the hospital. He returned to police duty, taking on traffic control to avoid corruption and enforce the law. Junho's chief asked him, "Did you actually see the face of the person who shot you?" Though Junho denied it, friends, we know he was lying. He had seen everything but lacked proof, so he chose to remain silent. Seong, on the other hand, hired Kim to help him find the salesman. Kim deployed his people to watch for anyone distributing game cards. Meanwhile, Junho continued searching for the mystery island with the help of a fisherman named Park. Despite searching tirelessly for a year, they found nothing. Back on land, Kim's group finally spotted the salesman playing dakji with strangers. Kim followed him and informed Seong. The salesman, however, eluded them and continued his bizarre acts, taunting poor people with bread and scratch cards. When Seong arrived, he found Kim and his partner beaten and tied up. The salesman forced them to play a deadly game of rock, paper, scissors, involving Russian roulette. After a tense series of rounds, Kim's partner survived, but Kim was seriously injured. Eventually, Seong returned to his hotel room, only to find the salesman waiting for him. The salesman taunted Seong, but ultimately played Russian roulette himself, taking his own life. Junho, who had been tracking Seong, arrived at the scene and discovered the salesman's dead body. Before he could act, Seong retrieved a card from the salesman's pocket. The card contained information about the mastermind behind the games. As Junho confronted Seong, another operative intervened, knocking Junho unconscious. The operative revealed that the boss sacrificed himself to protect the organization's secrets. On the back of the card, Seong saw the words 31st October Midnight Club, HDH. When Jun regains consciousness, seeing his ID, Cyan remembers, "This is the same man who came to my house asking about his brother." Then Jun says, "You do not remember, but we also know about him. We met earlier on Mystery Island. I had come there disguised as a masked man while searching for my brother. I asked you about him and you said, 'We do not know anyone's name here.' So I told you he was my elder brother." Now, in the present, Jun asks, "Whose life did you take?" Cyan explains the whole thing to him. "I am the one who selects the players for the game. I did not kill him. He became a victim of his own game. I am just searching for the bastard who has been running this game under the name of Nam for years." Friends, Nam was the same old man who died due to a tumor at the end of Season 1 in front of everyone's eyes. Even Jun understands this now, but keeps it to himself. He doesn't tell Cyan that the front man is his brother, Eno. However, Jun is worried about his brother and asks Cyan, "Will you find the front man and kill him?" Cyan replies, "Killing him won't stop this game forever. Nam told me before he died that he created this game for his special clients. I just have to reach them." Then Jun says, "I can help you with this." But Choi interrupts, "Sir, don't trust him. He's a policeman, and policemen aren't loyal to anyone." Somehow, Jun convinces Cyan to team up. Cyan takes them to his special room where the prize money's kept. He says, "I will destroy those people with this prize money. If you both really support me, I will give you your asking price." Jun responds, "Look, I have no greed for money, but since you took the life of a man like my brother, I will also be with you to take revenge." Cyan then shows his arsenal of weapons. Actually, friends, Cyan had bought the entire entire hotel and had been preparing for his mission here for many days. Now, Sion tells June, if you want to join hands with me, you will have to leave your police job. After this, the scene shifts to an ordinary cement park. Here, a girl named Newell is playing with children while wearing a pink costume. During a break, she goes to the makeup room and takes off her costume because she is drenched in sweat. Another girl comes in wearing a bunny costume with cartoon character faces. She gives Newell a drawing she made. Newell notices cuts on Bunny's hand and asks, why did you cut your hand? Bunny immediately covers it with the costume. The girl starts crying, and then her dad comes in shouting, Nayo! Nayo! He takes her away. Newell overhears her colleagues saying the girl has blood cancer. Her dad is a poor painter who had done murals on the amusement park walls. She needs a transplant, but her dad doesn't have enough money. Hearing this, Newell feels bad for Nayo and wonders what will happen to the poor girl. At night, Sion goes near his friend Yox's mom's shop. There, he sees Auntie and becomes emotional. Meanwhile, Jong meets an agent who informs him that Sabok's mom was recently released from a prison camp. She had been suffering from TB, which was prevalent among prisoners. Sion asks the agent, can you bring her here? If you need money, let me know. After Sion leaves, Newell meets the same agent. She gives him a wad of money and says, please find my daughter in another country. The agent replies, I've tried everything, but imagine how a 1-year-old girl can survive in North Korea without her parents, especially when her mother fled to South Korea after shooting a senior off. Newell is crying a lot at night after seeing her family photo. She works in Amy Cement Park during the day and drives her car at night. Amy sleeps in the parking area of Gamant Park every night. The security guard harasses Newell and asks her to leave. So today, when someone knocks on the window, she says, sorry, I'm here right now. I'll leave. But in front of her stands a man in a suit and boots holding a Squid card. He hands it to Newell and walks away. The next day is the death anniversary of Ino's wife. Jun goes to put flowers on his sister-in-law's grave and calls his mom. She says, son, look carefully. If your elder brother is alive, he will definitely come to offer flowers on his wife's grave. But at dinner that night, Jun tells his mom, Mom, no one except me came there. His mom becomes emotional and says, it seems that Ino does not want to have any relation with us. She still holds resentment towards us in her heart. Maybe because I'm her stepmother, she feels I don't love her. She gave her kidney to save your life, but when her wife was ill, I couldn't do anything. That's why she's angry with me. Jun gets angry and says, it was her decision to take a bribe. Whatever is happening to them, brother himself is responsible for it. The next day, Nayeon becomes sad because Pink Bunny didn't give her chocolate. She doesn't know that today. It's not Neil, but someone else in the bunny costume. Neil's talking to her supervisor about resigning from work. As she leaves, she notices Nayeon unconscious, being taken to the hospital by her dad in an ambulance. Neil feels very bad for Nayeon. At night, she goes to the hospital to meet her. She overhears Nayeon's dad talking about arranging money. Newell thinks to herself, I couldn't save my daughter, but I want to save Nayeon's life. Determined, she decides to participate in the Squid game. She calls the number on the Squid card and is told she will be picked up on the 31st of October. Meanwhile, Sing, with the help of a dentist, gets his tooth pulled out and a fake tooth implanted. Inside the fake tooth, a tracking chip is installed to trace his location. After this, Sing calls his daughter, but doesn't say anything. His mother says it must be a wrong number. Now, on the night of 31st October, HDH himself goes to a crowded club, leaving his men outside. Today is Halloween, and the club is packed. Jun sees two pink guards wearing suits entering the club. He follows them. The pink guards leave in a white limousine, and Jun asks his men to follow. Inside the limousine, the front man speaks to Sion through a speaker. We've talked before in this car, the front man says. I told you 3 years ago not to go to America to meet your daughter, but you didn't listen. That was the worst decision of your life. Sing responds, stop the game. What you're doing is wrong. You exploit people for the entertainment of the rich. The front man replies coldly, the people who play this game have already lost the game of life. They are the discarded garbage of the world. This game will continue until the world changes. The poor are puppets in the hands of the rich, and we cannot change the rules of the world. Jun and his friends are chasing them, but the pink guards puncture their car tire. Sion realizes their plan has failed. He says to the front man, fine, I'll play the game again. Take me with you. Suddenly, intoxicating gas fills the limousine, making Sion unconscious. Elsewhere, we learn that the sniper who punctured Jun's car tire was none other than Neil. She had joined the game not as a player, but as a guard. The next morning, Jun and his friends meet the fisherman, Park, who had previously helped Jun search for the mystery island. Park says, you told me you wouldn't come back looking for that island, and now here you are, threatening my boat with the armed men. Jun explains, one of our friends, Sing, has played the Squid game on that island before. This time, he's been taken there again, but he has a tracker in his tooth. With its help, we'll reach him, save him, and uncover the mystery of the island. Park responds, if that's the case, you'd better hurry. On the island, Sion wakes up in the Squid game dormitory. A psychic woman beside him says, you cannot escape your bad deeds. You didn't come here willingly. The souls of those wandering in fire brought you here. If you survive this game, meet me outside. I'll cleanse your aura. Sion notices that his jersey number is 456, the same as last time. Just then, the pink guard manager enters. He welcomes the players and announces, all of you must participate in 6 different games. These games will determine your fate. If he wins 6 games, games, he will get a lot of money as a reward. Then, player number 120, a trans woman says, "You're saying that we'll get money for winning, but the way you've kidnapped us and brought us here, how can we trust you?" The manager responds, "I'm sorry, but it was necessary for your security and to hide the identity of the game." The players ask, "Why are you wearing a mask? Is this an illegal game?" The manager explains, "This is our policy to keep our faces and identities hidden. It ensures that no staff member of the game can help any player in any way." Player number 333 speaks up, "Please give me my phone. I'm a crypto trader. Do you even know how much money I've invested in crypto? I need to check the charts all the time." The manager replies, "In your name, MG, 152 billion units of YouTube 1 have sunk. You're 30 years old, and you have a debt of 1.8 billion units. The police are searching for you because you've committed a scam." Meanwhile, player 196 starts complaining, "You made me take off my branded clothes to wear this poor jersey. If I had to wear something, it should have been pink. I don't like green." The manager exposes him. Player 196, "You are Mina. You have a debt of 45 million. Player 120, Cho, your debt is 333 million. Player 230, your debt is 1.19 billion. Player 198, Zhang, you owe 1.4 billion. Player 226, your debt is 1.9 billion. Player 444, you owe 2.2 billion. Player 343, your debt is 2.89 billion. And player 006, you owe 3.1 billion. Finally, player number 100, you owe 10 billion. Hearing all this, everyone is stunned. They realize that these people have brought them here only to help them repay their debts. They decide to cooperate without any problem. The manager continues, "Even when we first met, you didn't believe us. At that time, we played a game with you. After winning, we gave you the promised money, and that's when you trusted us. That's why you agreed to come here. But even now, I'll give you one last chance. You can go back to your useless life, or you can take advantage of our offer. The choice is yours." An empty piggy bank is hung at the top of the bang dome. The manager announces, "Your prize money will be stored in this piggy bank. After every game, money will be added to it based on the results of the game. In this game, everyone will get a special opportunity, like never before. After each game, we will take a vote from all of you to decide whether to continue the game or not. The majority will decide. However, we encourage you to play till the end to win the maximum amount." In the crowd, an old lady finds her worthless son Young. She starts beating him, saying, "Look at your gambling habit. Where has it brought me? But listen, I'll play this game. You go home right now." Young protests, "Mummy, this isn't gambling. It's a game. I'll just play one game and leave." After this, the manager makes everyone sign a consent form. Anyone who wants to leave the game can do so now, but everyone starts signing the form. Meanwhile, MG Coin meets some subscribers who had invested money on his advice. They confront him saying, "Play the game well, win money, and pay us back quietly." There's also a rapper named Thanos who meets some fans. They ask for selfies, but since they don't have phones, Thanos promises, "After I leave here, I'll definitely give you a selfie." Danush starts flirting with Mina, but Mina doesn't give him much attention. At the same time, Sion meets his old friend, Young Bae. Young exclaims, "Hey, where did you disappear to suddenly? I heard about your mom's death from my wife. Tell me, are we even friends? If you had told me, you know I would have been there for you. Don't you care about me?" Young then shares his own story. "I was divorced, my wife left with our child, and I fell into bad company. That's how I ended up here, drowning in debt." Sion warns him, "Listen to me carefully. Stay with me and follow my lead. This place is very dangerous." But Young doesn't take him seriously. All the players are brought to play red light, green light. Meanwhile, Jun's friends reach the cell where Seo's location is visible. But here's the twist. When the Squid Game staff made Sion unconscious, they removed his tracker tooth, replaced it with another tooth, and implanted the tracker in another man who went to a distant island for fishing. Jun realizes this and feels disappointed. Half the day has passed, and we couldn't find Sion. What will we do now? And Park keeps saying we need to return soon because there's a storm coming. Meanwhile, Sion also discovers something strange in his tooth. He takes it out and realizes, this isn't the tooth I had fixed by the dentist. It's a different tooth, and it doesn't have a tracker. This means Jun won't be able to find me now. The rules and regulations are explained to everyone, and the game begins. The players are given 5 minutes to cross the finish line. A giant doll stands on the other side, pointing toward the tree. When the doll looks away, the players can run. But when it turns to face them, everyone must stop completely. If anyone moves, they are eliminated from life. Singh now comes forward and tells everyone, the player to be eliminated will be shot and killed because of the doll. There is a motion sensor installed in its eyes. So everyone has to move forward only on my instructions and stop only on my instructions. But no one takes his words seriously. However, because they had to win, they foolishly keep following the instructions. Half the game is completed, and so far, everyone is safe. Then, suddenly, a flying bee comes and sits on Mina's neck. Thanos tells her, "There's a bee sitting there, Mina." Mina, startled with fear, jumps up and starts swatting at the bee. She says, "Look, I moved, but nothing happened to me." Just then, a bullet flies and hits her right on the forehead. Blood starts flowing down her face, turning it red. The bee flies away and lands on another lady. Panic spreads. One after another, people start running in fear of being shot. Sion shouts at the top of his lungs, "Don't run!" Stop. But chaos ensues. A stampede breaks out, and many people are killed. Eventually, the remaining players regain their composure and take Sion's words seriously. Sion says tall people should come to the front, and those who are shorter should hide behind them. This way, the sensor won't detect movement, even if there's slight motion. But, out of fear, many still fail. The video cameras detect their movements, and they are eliminated. A new shooter, Newell, makes a mistake. Instead of killing a man outright, she accidentally shoots him in the leg. Sion helps the wounded man cross the finish line by supporting him on his shoulder. However, after the game ends, Newell shoots the man dead. "He was already eliminated in the game," she says coldly. "He couldn't survive." The pink guards murmur among themselves. "This new shooter is ruthless. If it were us, we wouldn't have killed him like that." In the next scene, all the players sit in their dormitory, traumatized by the deaths of their comrades. Fear hangs heavy in the air. The manager enters with the pink guards and congratulates the surviving players. "You've won the first game," he announces. Out of 456 players, 91 have been eliminated, and 365 have successfully moved to the next round. Hearing this, an old lady breaks down. "I'll repay every penny by working hard. Please spare me. Let my son go from here," she pleads. Other players begin begging for mercy as well. The manager reassures them, "Players, there's a misunderstanding. We didn't bring you here to die, but to give you a new life. You'll leave here as rich people." Sion steps forward and reminds him, "You said that after every game, we can decide whether we want to stay or leave." The manager nods. "You're correct, but the decision will be based on majority voting. Before we begin voting, let me show you the money you've earned so far." Suddenly, money rains into the piggy bank. In the first game, 91 players were eliminated. The manager explains, "The total amount deposited so far is 99.1 billion won. If you choose to leave the game now, you'll each get 2.49 million won. But if you play until the end, you'll win 45.6 billion won." Voting begins. Those who want to continue the game press one button, while those who want to quit press another. Sang votes first. He chooses to quit, saying, "It's not worth the risk." But others, blinded by greed, start voting to continue. Sang warns them, "Don't let greed consume you. Take what you've earned and leave quietly. Otherwise, you'll risk your lives." Some argue, "Don't be a coward. Courage is what leads to victory. You scared us in the first game, but we survived. We can survive this too." Sion tries again. "I've played this game before. I know how it ends. Everyone will die." Skeptical players question him. "If everyone dies, how did you survive?" Sion admits, "I was lucky to win last time, but this game is merciless." Before Sion can say more, the manager interrupts. "Enough talking. We can't delay the voting any longer." The remaining players cast their votes. In the end, it's a tie. Equal numbers want to leave and stay. One player remains to vote. Player 001. When player 001 is called, it's revealed that he is none other than the frontman, Jun's elder brother, Inho Hae-sung. Without his mask, no one recognizes him. Player 001 votes to stop the game. This shocks the players, as majority voting means no one can leave, and the game will continue. Later, lunchboxes are distributed among the players. Sion, deep in thought, doesn't eat. His friend Young-bae offers him a spoonful of food, saying, "Hey, why are you unhappy? First, feed your stomach. Whatever happens, happens for the best." Sion replies, "A friend of mine said the same thing last time, but he didn't return alive." Player 001 enters with others and says, "Since you've played before, guide us for the next game." Sion, too distracted to recognize the frontman's voice, shares, "Last time, the second game involved removing a shape from a cookie without breaking it. There were 4 shapes: triangle, circle, star, and umbrella. The hardest ones were the triangle and the umbrella." Someone suggests, "Then let's all choose the triangle." But before the discussion continues, the manager announces the next game. He says, "Don't tell everyone about the game-related thing. If everyone knows, then everyone will perform well in the game, and our winning amount will not be able to increase." Singh gets angry at this and says, "I will tell everyone so that more people can win. More people's lives may be saved." Now, friends, the boy whose mother has also come here, Ain, whose name is Yike, runs to his mother to tell her that they have to take a triangle in the next game. But his mother is not at her seat. In fact, she has gone to player 222 to give her share of the egg because, friends, player 222, who is pregnant, is in her 9th month. Seeing her fragile condition, Yike's mother understands that she needs to take good care of her health. So she goes to give her share of the egg to her. On the other hand, Thanos and his friends sacrifice MG coin, repeatedly saying, "You should quietly give us the money won from the game. It was because of you that we invested in crypto and got back so much of our money." This debate gradually turns into a fight. Then, a young man named Jong Bai says to the boy, Hey, go and stop their fight." But Deha gets lost in thought. After a moment, he steps forward and says, "Don't you feel ashamed? You two are ganging up to kill one person. Is there no respect for the big and the small?" Thanos escapes and his friend retort, "Who are you?" But we know that his wife has died, and in his anger, he beats them badly. So much so that he shows them stars in the day. Both apologize and leave. At night, all the guards, i.e. the soldiers, are asked to go back to their rooms. When Newell returns to her room, she remembers, "I also saw Nain's dad among the players. Maybe he has come here to collect money for his daughter's treatment. His number is 246. Yes, it is true. On the other hand, all the players are given time to sleep. Some eyes are on the prize, while others reflect on their struggles. Many hope that once they get the money, their problems will become easier. Eno approaches Sio and says, "My wife is very ill and needs a liver transplant. She's also pregnant. The doctor has advised her to have an abortion, but she refuses, saying, 'It is better to die than to have an abortion. I've spent so much on her treatment, but we're not getting a donor. I even borrowed money from my client, but everyone thought I took a bribe. I was insulted and fired from my job. Now, this game is my last hope." Friends, his story is touching but partially fabricated. His wife has already passed away. He lied to make his story convincing when he participated in this game for the last time. Did you know he once won the Squid Game? However, something happened and he became the front man. Now, he has returned to the game for reasons yet to be revealed. Meanwhile, friends, the pink guards are seen selling the organs of players who are still alive. Those shot directly in the head die instantly, rendering their organs unusable. Guard number 11 ensures that any player nearing death is shot in the head before reaching the surgery room. This practice enrages the black officer, who confronts guard 11. The black officer says, "I told you not to interfere in my work," but Newell answers back defiantly, "I am doing my duty properly." The officer responds, "You fear the front man finding out, but don't worry, I'll handle it. Remember, 7 years ago, I found you lying like a living corpse in a poor hospital. I pitied you and gave you a chance at life. You said your child was left behind in North Korea, and you'd do anything to get them back." Newell retorts, "I remember. You also said my job would be to liberate people by giving them life through organ donation." The officer counters, "Those people would die anyway. If we can save lives through organ donation, what's the harm?" Meanwhile, June arrives at the police station. The chief is furious. "You suddenly resigned. Do you know how much I had to plead with the boss to save your job?" June pleads, "Please listen to me." But the chief refuses, stating, "Absolutely not." He eventually convinces his boss to let her stay, but the boss dismisses her concerns, saying, "You need a psychiatrist." June says to Choi, "We'll search for the island in teams tomorrow. Heavy rain makes it impossible today." On the other hand, the second game begins. Players must form teams of 5. Initially, everyone chooses triangles, believing them to be easy, but they soon realize their mistake. Mini games like Logic G and Spinning Top must be won to proceed. MG approaches Jae-hee, but she refuses his help, determined to stand on her own. She joins Seo's team instead. Each team strategizes, assigning games to members based on their skills. As the game progresses, tensions rise. Players' fears and weaknesses come to the forefront. The weaker teams, initially underestimated, display surprising resilience. The trans woman leading her team motivates them, saying, "Believe in yourself." The episode ends with several cliffhangers. Will the weaker team prevail? What will happen to Seo's team? Will Sing succeed in his mysterious objectives? And what is the black officer's real agenda? Stay tuned for the next episode to uncover these mysteries. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.